So this is how to do short foot, which is a way of pulling up the arch of the foot by the use of the hips and the knees. So we want to do the tripod first. Make sure you're aware of the tripod. So the knuckle of your big toe, the knuckle of your little toe, and the center of the heel. So these 3 points, you want them to have pressure all the time. So if I open my knees way out, I lose pressure under here. And if my knees go right in, I lose pressure here. So I want all 3 to have the pressure all the time. That's really important. So have your feet pointing straight ahead. You want the big toe to be open. Usually the big toe wants to do that. So let it open up there for starters. Then from here, you're tucking your pelvis under a little bit. So the pelvis usually wants to live arched forward. So we tuck it under. That can already have an influence on the arch. And then from here, once you've got that, the knees then open to the point that if you open them any further, that this would peel off the ground. Okay, so what it does is it centralizes the talus bone here. So if you've got a flat foot, the talus is actually sitting in the bone, sits in like that. It's not very good for the foot at all. So it turns right in. So when we open the knees out, it centralizes this bone and actually gives you an arch in your foot. So I don't know if you can see that clearly. My knee comes in, the arch flattens. Then I open that out and it lifts up. It's just a consequence of the bones moving. So what you're doing for homework is the pelvis tucked under a little bit. Keep pressure in the tripod, the knees open until you can't keep this on the ground anymore. It's comfortable, you can keep this part on the ground still. It's not peeling off. Then you squeeze in your backside. The next part, and you can do this as a separate piece, is to pull this part of your foot towards the heel. So it looks like that. So we call it short foot because my foot's got this length. Then I pull that together and it makes my foot shorten. That way it actually lifts up the arch here. So I can think about pulling this part and that part together to lift the arch. Or you can think about underneath the rows of the toes here, so not on the tips of the toes. If I do the tips of the toes, my feet claw. This is a clawing foot like that, like I'm pulling with the claws of my hand or the foot. I'm pulling underneath with these rows, so like I'm pushing the toes into the floor. That will lift up the arch here. We aim to keep this knuckle still on the ground. So that's the procedure. So pelvis tucked, squeeze butt, knees open. Then tripod weight still there, and then you're pulling the toes in under the rows, pushing the toes into the ground, or just think about pulling this point to that point. And hold that for 10 seconds. You're doing 10 lots of 10.